What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back with another NFL Showdown breakdown, courtesy of Awesemo.com. Today, we're talking about a Monday Night Football matchup between the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers, one in which the Saints are 6-point favorites with 29 implied points from Las Vegas, while the Panthers get just 23 implied points. I'm going to take you through every aspect of this matchup in one short moment, but first, it's the holiday season, and that means it is time for our 24 days of giveaways. As we've been doing every day this month, we are giving things away to you for supporting us at Awesemo.com. We do appreciate it, and this is our way of giving back. All you have to do right now, like this video, leave a comment down below telling me who you think is going to score first in this game. Doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. Either way, it will be an entry to win one free month to a sport of your choosing at Awesemo.com or a free merch item from our new store at shop.awesemo.com. So like this video, leave a comment, and you'll be entered to win that prize, as well as our grand prize on Christmas Eve, which is an all-access pass to every sport at Awesemo.com. It's a $700 value. It's a year's worth of free content, rankings, ownership projections from Awesemo. So go like this video, leave a comment down below telling me which player you think is going to score first, and you'll be entered to win in our 24 days of giveaways. Now on to this game. There are some people who think that the Cowboys win over the Saints revealed a roadmap for people to beat the Saints. And I don't think that's the case, and I don't think it's applicable at all. I think the Saints are going to get back on track here in a big way in this game versus the Panthers. To me, this seems like a perfect bounce back spot for Drew Brees versus a Panthers defense who's given up big performances to QBs all year. But I think overall this matchup versus the Panthers is a really good one, and one that's not going to offer up a lot of resistance for him to throw as much as he wants. I also think this is a very strong bounce back spot for Michael Thomas, a guy who got back on track last game, but sort of didn't achieve the ceiling we saw earlier this year. The Panthers have been terrible versus the slot all year. They've given up big games to guys like Tyler Lockett and Adam Humphries in the last few weeks. Now they're getting a spot versus Michael Thomas, a guy who's a much better athlete and got 13 targets last week. So to me, this is the eruption Michael Thomas spot that his owners have been waiting for since week 1, week 2, week 3, that run where he was the most elite prospect at wide receiver by far. I have no issue playing Michael Thomas at captain, even though that's going to take a lot of your salary either. I think it all depends on how the lineup construction shakes out for you. It might be more logical to play him in a regular lineup, but either way, Brees and Thomas will be a big part of all the lineups I make on this slate. Not crazy about the other receivers here. There isn't really anybody who jumps out in a meaningful way. Josh Hill is seeing the majority of snaps at tight end now, but he's not seeing any targets at all. Ben Watson's pretty uninvolved in the pass game, and he's seeing less snaps. The tight end position isn't one that I'm trying to stack much with my Brees and Thomas collection. As for the receivers, Traquan Smith hasn't really been as involved as he has been. He's shown us a ceiling, but his floor has been pretty gross to see so far. Tommy Lee Lewis, Keith Kirkwood, neither of these guys are really jumping out to me. I think if the salary works and you're playing a max 20 entry, let's say, get some exposure to those guys, especially as part of a Brees Thomas stack. But otherwise, I'm not dying to get any of these pass catchers in there besides Michael Thomas. For the running backs, and this is a much more important choice than the Tommy Lee Lewis, Keith Kirkwood decision, Alvin Kamara is the guy you would want. Obviously, his price is higher there. Mark Ingram is an interesting play, but he's not getting the snaps, and he's almost touchdown dependent at this point. Whereas Kamara's got a few down weeks, but at least he's getting targets and touches. So I'd probably favor Kamara by a decent margin, but I think having a mix of Kamara and Ingram makes sense. And also some lineups where you fade the running game entirely might make some sense as well. On the Panthers side, Cam Newton was pretty butthurt about getting a broom sent to him after the Panthers were swept by the Saints in their last season's matchups. That motivation may be a factor for Newton, but he's also been really hurt, apparently with a shoulder injury, which is similar to one that sidelined Andrew Luck for an extended period of time. Cam really hasn't looked himself since this shoulder problem cropped up, and I worry a little bit about him, even though the motivation does make him a bit more interesting from a narrative street play. Overall, though, I think the shoulder worries me enough where I'm probably more inclined to roll with his targets instead of him in a spot where I know I'm going to want to pay up for one of Brees and Thomas. And I'm also going to want to pay up for Christian McCaffrey. The guy's just been a lock week after week, especially on a slate like this where the production could come from a variety of different places. McCaffrey offers you a floor and a ceiling that no other player in the slate can really touch. Not playing McCaffrey is the one decision that could greatly differentiate your lineup from the jump, though. McCaffrey should be the highest owned player on the slate by a fairly wide margin. And I think if you don't play him, you're going to instantly differentiate your lineups, but you are coming with the risk of the fact that McCaffrey is just the best player on the slate in terms of floor and ceiling. Overall, I get all the tournament reasons why you might want to avoid McCaffrey, but to me, he does seem like a guy I'd rather have in my lineups and try to figure out ways to differentiate elsewhere. Curtis Samuel has led the Panthers in air yards over the last few weeks, and he's been right up there in targets as well. I think Samuel might be the real wide receiver one here after all the changes to the lineup with Devin Funchess getting hurt, and now his role has been completely bounced down. Samuel got 93% of the snaps last week, while DJ Moore picked up 91%, and Devin Funchess got just 40%. And even though that could change a little bit as Funchess gets closer to health, I think we're going to see more Samuel and DJ Moore here than we will see Funchess. Samuel and Moore would be the guys I'd be more inclined to play. Funchess, I think, is a dart toss is worth it because he's not going to be very highly highly owned. But overall, Samuel and Moore would be guys I would play, and I'd be okay playing with them together, especially in lineups where I have Cam involved as part of that stack. The targets and snaps have been there for tight end Ian Thomas since Greg Olsen went out, and I do think he's also going to be one of the more popular plays on the slate because he's just much more affordable than a lot of the other guys seeing volume. I like what Thomas has done since taking over for Olsen, but I think I'm more inclined to fade him than play him because a lot of people are going to have him on their rosters, and there are so many ways this passing offense could go. Though Thomas, again, should be a beneficiary of Cam Newton's shoulder problems, he's a down short target who's going to get those easy throws from Cam, which whether his shoulder's hurting him or not, he can still make those happen. There's some risk fading Ian Thomas, but I think if you are trying to differentiate your lineup, he is the way that I would differentiate rather than trying to fade Christian McCaffrey. I don't think this is the spot for either defense. The Saints are not quite as good when playing on the road, and the Panthers have done nothing of note defensively all year. I think if you see something defensively that makes you want to play either the Saints or Panthers, go for it because you're going to instantly differentiate your lineup quite a bit. For me, though, I'm not as interested in either side. I think there's going to be some points put up no matter what Cam Newton's shoulder is doing. Playing a kicker would also be decently contrarian, which is noteworthy because the Panthers are one of the worst teams in the league in the red zone, allowing touchdowns on 75% almost of their opponent red zone visits. Banking on the Saints to stall out and a little Will Lutz action could be a viable play, but again, that Panthers red zone defense is so bad. I mean, can Kamara not get in? Can Ingram not get in? Can Michael Thomas not get an easy red zone target? It's hard for me to imagine the Saints not being able to score at will, but, we're talking about contrarian options on a limited showdown slate, so play a kicker, play Will Lutz if you want. Graham Gano is out again, so the fill-in Chandler Catanzaro is a more interesting play, I guess, because the Saints are slightly more stout defensively in the red zone, but it's not really exciting play on either side. I would see maybe playing Lutz. I could see playing Catanzaro slightly less so, but neither one is one I'm dying to get into my lineups. As is usually the case with a kicker, I think if the price fits and it makes sense with your lineup construction, then go for it. Basically, you're banking on there being yardage, but not scores in the end zone. So that's the reason you would play a kicker if you see it with how you're building your lineups. And there we have it. Those are my thoughts for this Week 15 Monday Night Football matchup. As I said up top, don't forget to like this video and leave a comment down below telling me who you think is going to score first in this game for your chance to win in our 24 days of giveaways. We're giving away 1 month to any sport of your choosing at Awesemo.com or any item of merch from our new store at shop.awesemo.com. So like this video and leave a comment down below telling me who's going to score first. Do it right now. And of course, you'll also be entered to win our big giveaway on Christmas Eve, that year-long all-access pass to all the content at Awesemo.com, a $700 value. So do it, do it, do it. Like the video, leave a comment. And we are still giving away 1 free week, so check the promo code I'm dropping in here. That's promo code MUNSHOWDOwn. It'll give you 1 week free of all the ownership projections and rankings at Awesemo.com, as well as all the premium content. Awesemo puts out articles every single week before the Sunday slate, breaking down how he's viewing different angles of the games. So go check it out now, promo code MUNSHOWDOwn. It's right here. I'm a master of pointing in the right spot for promo codes and different links and such. Look at this pointing. I'm talking and pointing. 2 things at once. What a talent. And there you have it. That's everything you need to know about this Monday Night Football Showdown slate. Thank you guys for watching. Like the video, leave a comment, and I will see you guys again soon for another Showdown breakdown.